It's Friday, October 7th, and this is the first time ever we're coming to you
on a beach. We got birds, we got the sunrise. It's amazing.
We literally have the sunrise. It's going to come over the clouds any second now, and it looks like there's a rainstorm and a massive cargo ship out there. But today, we're talking about a few things. We're going to talk about waterlogged EVs. We're going to talk about Amazon canceling its Scout autonomous delivery robot program. Remember that?
Ooh.
And we're also going to talk about why bad news might be good news.
There we go.
We don't have any intro music today.
No intro music. We're rolling. Hey, we're still out here at NAMAD. Yesterday was a really great day. There was a lot of good conversations, a lot of data around just like EVs, how they're pressing into different sectors of communities and cultures, and so it's been just an encouraging. And I love. Like the energy here is just unbelievable. You go around the parties and things like that.
As you can tell, our voices are a little bit shot.
Right.
Because NAMAD has music everywhere.
Period.
Which means we're always yelling.
Yes.
But we don't realize it.
It's like 4 on the floor with a strong beat everywhere. So it's great.
And great conversation, great community. So I don't think we have any announcements today.
No.
We're just going to talk about the news. So no less than multiple people texted you and me the same story within 30 minutes. And this is a story that came from Fox News about waterlogged EVs, and I think the ones that they used examples were actually Teslas.
Yep.
That during the hurricane and the storm surge, they got waterlogged with salt water, and they are just exploding.
Right. So it's interesting because it's not like it happened, last week when everything was going down. It's been a week later that these waterlogged, saltwater logged vehicles are now starting to catch fire because of the pressure that was on them, and so they're catching fire. And the really wild thing is that the fire crews are out there literally dumping gallons upon hundreds of gallons of water attempting to put these fires out, and it's not fixing it.
It's pretty terrifying, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying.
Imagine being a firefighter and you're like, where do I even put the water?
What do I do next? Yeah.
Because think of even how enclosed the battery is. It's underneath the compartment.
Yep. The
car's all sealed up. Even if you try to break some windows and stuff, it's still sealed up. Like, this is a real issue.
It is a real issue, and I think it's just one of those things that, it's not a typical thing, but it's one of those things we have to think about. It's just a whole new subset of things that are happening because EVs exist. So
we need to call this guy on here.
Look at this guy.
Come this way.
Come on.
This way.
We've got a surprise guest for everybody. A surprise guest. This is.
He's on Clubhouse.
He's literally on the phone or on Clubhouse.
Stand
Here we go, right here. If you don't know this gentleman, this is Alex Flores, owner, partner, general manager, general everything at Bravo Autos. How's the beach for you this morning, sir?
Man, it is beautiful. It's a beautiful morning here in Miami Beach, and I'm walking and I see, wait a minute, the amazing Kyle and Paul over here. I got to come over here and say hi because these guys are amazing. It's just a blessing to be here, man. It's beautiful, and I'm really enjoying NAMAD, and of course, just spending time with you guys. And I was just discussing with some dealers about what we talked about, which is, not being dealers and becoming retailers and making it easy for our customers. We were just literally a second ago talking about the platinum rule, which is not the golden rule, treat people the way you want to be treated, but treat people the way they want to be treated, and make it to where we cater to the customer, just like this resort right here. They cater to us, we got to cater to our customers.
I love it.
I love it. What a good way to just boom right in there.
All right. Well, we're not going to ask you anything else.
There you go. Have a great morning,
He just dropped the wisdom. Enjoy your walk. He was like all coffeeed up, had his earbuds in, and we just pulled him over here.
Pulled him right over.
We love you, brother. So this is a problem like everything, right? You introduce a new technology or something, and then although you think like, oh, well, you have to have some kind of plan for this. I guess not.
Well,
really.
And one of the planning things that I hadn't thought about, and yesterday Mark Bland of S&P Global noted that over 50% of fire stations in the U.S. actually don't have the capacity or the training to handle electric vehicle fires right now.
What is it? A certain chemical that you need to spray on the car?
Probably.
Baking soda, right?
Not a chemist.
Not water is the answer.
Yes, exactly.
Not water is the answer. So, I mean, just a new interesting development with all the recent things happening with the saltwater, with the storm surge, with the push to EVs. Just one more reminder that there are considerations that have to happen, that maybe we should pump the brakes a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Pun intended.
Speaking of pumping the brakes.
Stop. Oh, yeah. Really, I never can hear someone say, speaking of. without
It was
me
bad.
just
Yesterday,
triggering
I
that.
heard like 5 people say that in the middle of panels, and I was like,
If
get it out of my
only.
head.
No, it'll never be there. But Amazon has pulled the plug on its Scout autonomous robot program. This is a program that's been going on for 3 years, and if you've probably seen it before, it's like a little blue droid, I guess is the best way I'd put it. It has 6 wheels, and they cruise at low speed through neighborhoods, go up to doors, open the hatch, deliver the package. The program's been in place for 3 years. Started in Seattle. They expanded it to Southern California, and they actually had a human walking along with the robot.
Right. Yeah.
So, they have to test it out. But based on feedback from customers that it wasn't giving them the experience that they were looking for,
Right.
Amazon has pulled the plug. There are 400 people working on the project that will now be offered other jobs. And I was trying to think, like, what doesn't work right? Like, you think it'd be great, a little autonomous just shows up with your package, but there are a lot of things, like, what does it do if you're not home?
Well, that's my thing. Is like the majority of time, yeah, yeah. The majority of the time, I'm not gonna take the time to go. Even if I am home, I'm 10 minutes later
leave it
picking
at
that
the
back.
door.
Yeah, leave it at the door. Yeah, so I think that's a big measure of feedback. Also, I mean, just the inconvenience of having that thing just rolling around my neighborhood. That's just not something like my kids would be banging on that with baseball bats at age 5.
I was thinking of how many stickers, like, once the human isn't there, like, that is just rife for, like, let's tip it over, right? It's like the new cow tipping.
Yes,
right.
That's perfect. Amazon.
I mean, I'm sure there'd be some cameras
Well, and
involved.
I think here's the thing, and I'm not discouraged by this. I think this is going to continue to happen over the next 3 to 5 years, where there's so much new technology being introduced and new ways of doing business or interacting with the retail businesses that people are going to be trying things. There's going to be in and out. There's going to be multiple iterations of different things, and I'm honestly proud of Amazon for being able to say, hey, look, we're going to pull the plug. We've got places for these other 400 employees. We know that we can plug them into our retail ecosystem. And thank you for the feedback for the customers that we're able to experience.
They are leaving, like, a few people on, like, to just keep maybe, like, thinking
Well, it's
through
an R&D
the
type
development.
thing.
It is, and Amazon
yeah.
has been known for trying things, drone delivery, right, putting packages in consumers' cars, right, and all of those types of things. So, like you, not discouraged and not hating on Amazon. This is, I think, another indicator of things slowing down a little bit, right? When times are good, you're spending money everywhere you can, right? You're trying to spend the money. You're trying to move the ball forward while the sun is shining. Right, and this is like an indicative of everything kind of slowing down, everyone watching the economy and waiting to see what happens.
Yes.
Speaking of waiting to see what happens.
There it is. We are anticipating, and by the time you listen to this or hear this, probably the jobs report for Q3 and for September more particularly would have come out. And we're starting to just hear this theme that actually good news in the eye of the beholder would actually be bad news potentially for the overall economy. So when we think about good news, I think about more people getting jobs, so unemployment rates going down.
Yes, consumer spending being strong.
Exactly.
Right? All these things.
We're like, yay,
that's
this is
good, right?
The problem is that what happens when consumer spending continues to increase and job rates continue to stay at a very, very low rate, inflation is out jobs spending is outpacing typical inflation.
So prices go up.
So prices continue to go up, which is what the Fed has been attempting to pull back on because with all of the interest rate hikes. So essentially what would happen is there would be this perception that if jobless rates do not go up, the Fed would continue to press in to quick interest rates, which some have concerns on whether or not that could create a soft landing for us instead of going into a recession.
Jonathan Smoke has been one of the more optimistic economists, and he's been very vocal about that, right? I don't think it's going to crash. I don't think, like earlier all this year, we're not in a recession. His tone did change a little bit, when we heard him talk, and, you can probably find this if you just look at his latest economic forecast. He's saying, some of the things that we were saying might be good for the economy actually might be bad for us overall, because I think everyone can agree we want inflation to stop. But that does include things like increased supply, right? Which from a business standpoint You want just enough supply to
You
fill
want that
demand.
balance, right? And right now it's imbalanced is what the Fed and economists are kind of saying. It looks like unemployment rates are going to hold at 3.7%, according to economists at Dow Jones. So it looks like payrolls are increasing overall.
Which is another thing we're like, good news, right?
Good news. I'm like, more people with jobs, payrolls
money,
increasing,
yeah.
wage increases, right? A 5.1% wage increase, which is a wild deal. So Shannon Sikosia, I hope I said that name right, chief investment officer at SVB Private Bank, said, "I don't think the Fed is going to pivot or pause or anything of that nature before the end of the year. Certainly not just because of job status." So essentially, trajectory is the same. So whether or not we get good or perceived bad news with the jobs, it seems like to her, and it seems like to a lot of others, that they're going to stay the course. But it's still one of those things that, like, every economist is kind of waiting on pins and needles at this point.
Well, the sun is finally cresting over the clouds.
Yeah, I've got to keep my
face.
You're in
now.
the face there.
We have a little bit more work to do at the NAMED conference before we head home.
Yeah.
And so we're going to get back to the dealers. We're going to record a lot more interviews. We've been recording tons of interviews with dealers and industry partners and OEMs, which is nice for a change.
Yeah.
We've spent a little time with OEMs here at NAMED, which is one of the benefits of a small conference that all the OEMs go to.
They do.
It's pretty awesome.
Well, especially with dealers that are aspiring to be dealers. It's been really interesting to watch. And banks, right? Like,
banks.
to have the conversations across multiple areas and sectors of auto. And I think that needs to happen more. It'll speed up innovation, as we talk about all the time.
So we're off to that. We hope you have an amazing weekend. Crush your Saturday. It's a 5-Saturday month, Kyle. Did you know that? We're going to be excited about it all month long. So enjoy your weekend. Thanks for spending some time with us, and we'll see you soon.